Hello and welcome all of you to the virtual open house of the Center for Communication Studies. My name is Dwayne Stolzfus and I'm chair of the communication department and serve as advisor to the Goshen College Record. While we wish that we could greet you personally and offer you cookies and coffee and lead you on a tour of this facility, as you know, we're unable to do that right now. So we've arranged what we think is going to be a good substitute. And we'll do our best to give you a fitting introduction to this space and some people who have been really important in bringing us to this day. I want to give you a little sense of how this hour is going to unfold. So we are going to start with a tour, and then we'll spend a little time with student leaders and a graduate of the communication program here. The college president will join us, and then we'll have a peek at the TV set that is under construction. And we'll finish with a conversation with a couple of dear friends of Goshen College and of the communication department. And just a word to make sure that you're properly situated, that you have your bearings here. The Center for Communication Studies is in the west wing of Newcomer Center. It's right along along Main Street. And it was the longtime home of the archives of the Mennonite Church. Construction began in the spring, continued in earnest even as everything else seemed to be shutting down. And so we finished the project right on schedule and have been doing finishing touches since then. Let's see, what else? I should mention this yet. So this is the first time in the history of Goshen College that we have brought together the different media properties, the different co-curriculars of the communication department in one space, under one roof. So TV, radio, newspapers, public relations are together in this new home. And I think it's time to take a tour. We have two professors standing by. Jason Samuel, who is the general manager of WGCS 91.1 The Globe, is going to be giving us a tour, and he's going to be accompanied by Kyle Hufford, who heads our film and television programs. And I think we're in for a treat. When you're ready, let's proceed with the tour.
Thanks, Dwayne. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jason Samuel, as Dwayne said, and I'm looking forward to giving you a glimpse of the new Center for Communication Studies here at Goshen College. We're really excited about this project and even more grateful that we can share it with you today. So first, the area that we're in right now is kind of like the lobby, but it serves many functions. Behind me, what you'll see is kind of a conference area. So we've got a conference table, and along with that is a timeline, Kyle, if you find me over here a little bit, that takes us from the beginning, the early stages of communication, as it were, starting with the Elkhart Institute and its first monthly magazine publishes in 1898. Then the Record is formed, and for a while, we're just doing written communication and periodicals and publications. Then in 1938, Goshen College introduces the speech department. 1958, 20 years later, the radio station begins, actually in October of 1958, so we're celebrating 62 years of broadcasting. 1972, the communication department is formed. Then 1978, the radio station goes stereo. After that, a little bit of a gap, but then video really enters the scene here at Goshen College. First with our video yearbook, Visage, and then the early days of Globe TV. At the time, it was called GC Journal, and that was in 1991. In 95, we got a satellite dish so that we could receive programming from around the world via satellite transmission to broadcast to local listeners. In 97, we moved the transmitter from here on campus about 1.5 miles away to increase our overall coverage for the radio station. In 2004, WGCS became The Globe. So that was a new moniker, 91.1 The Globe, and we changed formatting as well. In 2008, we introduced full majors in broadcasting, public relations, journalism, and also film studies. 5 Core Media, which is our video production company, was introduced a little bit later on. We have the film major. PRSSA starts in 2012. We launched Globe TV, which is now the current iteration of the old GC Journal from 1991. And here in 2020, we open up the Center for Communication Studies. So on the other side of this open area, this welcome area, is our lobby, a nice little sitting area. And you can see over here a few of the awards that we won. Kyle, you come with me. So we put up our 4-time Best in Indiana Print Awards, 6 times for the radio, and 5 times for the television station. A couple of artifacts throughout this lobby area as well, because we wanted, while we were converging all of our media in one location, we wanted to honor the history and legacy, not just with a timeline, but with actual artifacts. And one of those artifacts happens to be the old United Press International teletype. It was installed in the radio station in 1971. This was basically the internet up at the radio station until there was the internet. And many of you are familiar with the old rip and read style and the teletype, or the wire, as we would use in slang terms. Above me are these lights. They're actually from the original lights from the Union Gymnasium, and served purposes there from as early as 1950 when the building was built. And they are in the exact same condition that they were for more than 60 years. We brought them over here and installed them in the lobby. A couple of other artifacts that we have is, one is the distribution box. This is from 2001, and it was part of Marvin Bartel's drafting class. And around campus, this is what's used to distribute the Goshen College Record when it comes out each week. And we thought we'd, of course, have one here in the West Wing. Behind Kyle and over here is a writing desk. And this is on loan from the Manor Historical Library, but it was Lina Zook Ressler's writing desk. And she worked on some of the very first Mennonite publications, and later taught writing at the Elkhart Institute. And we're grateful to have this desk. Actually, students sit here and write little thank you notes, or I'm thinking of you notes, to their friends. So it's still serving a valuable purpose here in 2020. So let's come along. Before we get into any of the other rooms, I want you to look down this hallway and you'll see an interesting design. And no, it's not the downtown skyline of Goshen. For all the growth that we've had, it's actually a recreation of the digital sound wave of our legal ID. Every radio station has to say their city of license and their call letters at the top of every hour. And ours is WGCS Goshen. And that's actually carpet squares lined out in the rendition of me saying WGCS Goshen. So there you have it. Let's move over into the newsroom. Now here in the newsroom, we do a lot of things. The main purpose is we publish the record. But newsroom, news is number one. But we also do news and sports for Globe Radio and Globe TV. And the Public Relations Student Society of America chapter that we have here on campus does a lot of work here. We meet out here at the conference table, but we also can do a lot of content here. Let's come on inside and take a look. We got a couple of students in here working, because that's Nathan, and he's actually doing, it looks like, some social media for the Record right now. Nathan's on the staff of both the Record and Globe Radio and TV. Behind him is Gabby and Giselle. They're with PRSSA and also the radio and TV. But they're at this, what we call the dog bone. It's a dog bone shaped desk, and you can fit 6 people here. And then we've got some editing stations over there in the back. And then I'll look over here, Kyle, so people can get an idea of, behind me, the Record logos, the very first Record logo, and then our current iteration. And what we do here, many of you are familiar if you've ever been at a newspaper before, or a public library, and there'll be newspapers out to read, and they're usually put on racks. Well, we have kind of our own version of that. And there's a lot of monitors in the room, places to edit. We still print paper. This is the only place we print paper in the whole building, but it is a newspaper. And for all the digital things we do, we still work with the physical medium as well. So I'm going to walk out here and take you into another one of the spaces that we have. And this is the huddle room. And inside the huddle room, is this just a place to have a meeting? And what you can also do is work virtually with someone else. On the screen right now, we have our 5-4 Media website. But it gives us an opportunity to have smaller meetings, but at the same time, reach out with some people that might be further away. So we wanted to have a kind of a jazzed up Zoom meeting or a webinar. Behind me, you'll see some framed glass with stickers all over it. Well, these are the original glass dividers in the radio station studios between the production studio and the on-air studio. And so we had those uninstalled and brought over here because they're a great timeline from over the years of students and musicians being up in the radio station. We'll continue on. As you can see, we've got great artwork and photographs on the wall. This is radio operations, and this is Zach. Zach's a senior from Evanston, and right now he's working on some music sorting. We get CDs in the mail every day, as well as digital. But if it has to do with the background operations of the radio station, so whether it's music or programming related, whether it's a promotion that we're going to be doing either internally or externally, or if the student manager wants to meet with one of the leadership staff, it happens here in radio operations. Down the hallway here, we've put up, because again, we appreciate legacy as a big part of why we're so successful here in the communication department. This is Matt Smith, the only student at Goshen College to be both the executive editor of the record and the student station manager of WGCS. So quite an honor and quite a lot of responsibility, and he was a prolific student when he was here at GC in the 90s. This is a list of a lot of record editors. Hopefully you'll be able to come by here and find some of the people you know, including former President Victor Stolzfus and Chair of the Communication Department, Dwayne Stolzfus. And I do believe that Vice President for Communication, Jody Hostetler, is on here as well. I know she is, as a matter of fact, but because I'm not looking in the right place, there she is. So there's a lot more people in there. We just got some things to help recognize the history going all the way back to Jake Schwartzendruber and the work that he did along with Vernon Schertz and Glenn Gilbert. But come on here. This is the production suite. And here in the production suite, this is where we create commercials. This is Jeremiah. He's one of our prolific content creators. And it's pretty small, but it doesn't need to be that big because we can get a lot done in a small space. So if we're doing a promo, a PSA, a commercial, editing some music, doing an interview with an artist or a person, an important media figure, it can happen in here as well as in the main studio. So this is the production suite. And I got one more place to show you. And this is the main studio. And this main studio, if you were ever up at the other studio, is about triple the size. So it gives us a lot of opportunity, not just to do the things that you would do at a radio station, but it's a great place to teach the craft. And we can use it like a classroom. And I'll talk a little bit more about that right in here. So this is our main studio. It's the kidney bean shaped desk. At the controls right here is Senior William Troyer. He's our sports director. And Katie Ford, who's the student station manager, is also a senior, and they do a lot in the morning with the morning programming, with sports news, you name it. So here at the radio station, we run off of software. How about if I stand like this, Kyle, and then next to William? This software program that we use to run is cutting edge. It's put out by RCS. It's called Zedit, and its component software is Selector. And those two software programs do a lot of the behind the scenes work that help keep the radio station on the air 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Not only that, we've got cutting edge hardware along with the software that we have. And a big part of what we wanted to do here in the communication center when we put in this radio studio was have the best. And we were told by the people who installed it and then trained us on it that they haven't seen another radio station as nice as this one that's run by students. And so that makes us feel good that we're doing the right thing. Behind you can see some monitors. The students can watch some sports, keep up on news. But on the third monitor over here, behind me, that's actually the same screen that William's looking at. So that I can teach 4 or 5 or even up to 6 students in here how to operate the radio station without everybody trying to crowd around one monitor. You know, in times of COVID, it helps. You know, we've got our plexiglass and everybody's got their own windscreens, but it works out really well. A couple of things that we're really proud of is this little montage or collage of photos that goes all the way back from the late 50s through just last year. And if you come in here, and when you do come in here, you'll be able to see some people you know and their photos. And one of the last things I really want to point out, and I'll let you back up so that people can get a good view of it, is this picture window that looks out. The DJ gets a great view of the Beck Memorial Garden. And it's just a signature attribute to this studio. So you get natural light, but at the same time, it also matches the other half of the Newcomer Center, and it's a real treat. And squirrels come up, and people, to say hi on a regular basis, and it looks really great. So that's about it right now. I'm going to send it back to you, Dwayne, because I know we've got a lot to do to fill this hour.
All right, Jason, thank you so much for the excellent tour. And we're going to move now to the next segment, in which we'll be joined by Jody Byler, Vice President for Communication and People Strategy. Should also say Jody Byler, who is a communication major here at Goshen College, graduated in 2000. And while she was here, I think in her senior year, she was editor of the Record. Jody is going to be moderating a panel with 3 student leaders. She'll be joined by Zach Begley, Gabriella Kloppenstein, and Mackenzie Miller. Welcome, all of you.
Thank you so much, Dwayne. Can you hear me all right? Am I, oh, good, okay. Well, I am so happy to be joined by Gabriella and Mackenzie and Zach. And this is a really exciting occasion, and I never thought that we would be here. You know, I think back to my own experience as a student and working in the hub and working in the TV studio in the basement of the library, and to now have this space is just, I will admit, being a little jealous of you 3. Okay, a lot. But I am really mostly just so excited for you and for our future students of what this means, and really want to just hear from you about what this has been like. So to start, I would like for you each just to introduce yourself a bit. Tell us your name and where you're from, what year you are, and maybe about a couple of what are some of the experiences you've had so far during your college years in the communication department with that you've had so far. So why don't we start with Gabriella?
Hi, yes, I'm Gabriella Klopfenstein. I am a junior public relations major with minors in marketing and peace, justice, and conflict studies. I have been, I'm from Goshen, and I have been involved in PRSSA. I'm the president this year, and I am also on the record staff, doing layout, and then also the Globe doing, I'm on the morning show on Thursdays, and I have my own shift on Mondays too.
Nice, thank you. Zach.
Yeah, I'm a senior broadcasting and journalism double major from Evanston. I'm the features editor at The Record this semester, and then next semester going to be executive editor with Nick Yutzi, and I'm also the news director at the Globe Radio and TV.
Oh, man, you guys are all busy. Mackenzie.
Yes, hi, I'm Mackenzie Miller. I'm a senior here at Goshen. This is my second year though here at Goshen, and I'm the executive editor of The Record this semester, and have been heavily involved with the newspaper during my time here, as well as helping out and interning with the communication and marketing department at Goshen.
That's right. Okay, so you all have had experience prior to this year, and now this fall you've been able to be in the new facility. Tell us what that's been like. What are your favorite parts about the new facility? How does it feel different? And how does it also feel very similar to what your experience was before? And I'm gonna start, let's go backwards. Mackenzie.
Sure, well, first and foremost, it's really exciting to be close to the radio and other parts of the communication department, to kind of feel that energy and know that we're all working in the same realm. And specifically with The Record, we were off in the hub over by the cafeteria, which was fun to have our own space, but also a bit secluded, and we weren't able to show people the work that we were doing. So this very much feels like we have our own space, but people can walk in and see what we're doing and be connected in a way beyond just every Wednesday when we're putting out a paper.
Zach.
Yeah, I think it's been really great to be able to do work with the newspaper and Globe TV and radio at the same time, and it's all in the same space. And just for example, on Friday mornings, I do news on the morning show, and then and that goes from so I'm there from 8 to 9:30, and then I walk over at 9:30, and I have a meeting with the Record there in the same building, and I only have to walk down the hall. And I think like that just encompasses the ability we have to create content together and work together in new and meaningful ways.
Mm-hmm. All right, Gabriella.
Yeah, I would agree with both of them. But the thing that I love most going off of that is the energy that we have when everybody's here. So when the record is getting edited the night before it comes out on Wednesday nights, and when we have the morning show, or we just had college radio day on Friday, and so that was very exciting, and it was just popping in here. And I have meetings in here all the time, so I love just walking around and seeing everybody in here and having fun. And I stay in here basically all day long to do homework, so that's also very exciting and fun.
So how many hours a day do you all spend in this center? On average, what do you think?
I'm not sure if I could track it by day, but I'm about 20 hours a week. So.
Yeah.
Wow, that's huge.
I would probably say 5 a day.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Zach, how about you?
Yeah, depending on the day, somewhere between like 5 and 7 or something like that a day.
Wow. And is there like one of your favorite parts so far that you found? Like, what's your favorite thing in the new facility? Zach, you look ready.
Yeah, I mean, just to start off, I enjoy the new on-air studio, and maybe it's because, and also kind of the fact that I don't have to walk downstairs and halfway around the building to get to the bathroom if I need to. That's kind of nice, to be honest.
Hey, you know what? The practical things, those are important. Mackenzie, how about you?
Yeah, mine's really specific, but I love that we get to display past issues of the record in a visible way that we haven't in the past. So that's really fun to me.
Uh-huh. Gabriella?
Yeah, I love the different areas for meetings, for different kinds of meetings. So we have like the open area for more open and inclusive meetings. And then we have the huddle room for quieter and more exclusive meetings. And then we have this, I'm in the newsroom right now, and that's just always fun to just sit next to each other while we're doing homework and have a little break to chat and come back to do our homework.
Oh, that's great. I think mine, it might be the big window in the radio studio. Like, I just love that natural light and that connection between the nature and the technology, and for it to feel like you're not just up in a studio that no one can see now. So I think that's lovely. Well, you guys are all, you don't have to know what is coming post-college, but we would love to hear, what are you thinking about for career aspirations? You're all preparing for a future, and you're getting tons of experience, and you're racking up awards. Where do you see this taking you? Mackenzie, do you want to start?
Well, that is a great question. I didn't say that. Yeah, I'm double majoring in journalism and English, and then minoring in international studies. So I'm hoping to bring that all together in some form. So whether that's writing in some capacity abroad or cultural engagement, I'm really open to some of those things, hoping to go to grad school at some point. But yeah, that's my broad attempt at an answer.
That's great. Zach.
Yeah, I'm the news director, but interestingly, I want to do sports. Sports is really big. I guess want to work at some place like ESPN or Fox Sports or something, and either writing for their website or being on air with my own sports show. That's kind of what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And Gabriella.
Yeah, so I am a major in public relations, like I said, but public relations is such a broad major. So I am kind of thinking more narrow-minded to go into organizational management. or event planning. So those are the two. But right now I'm doing a lot of marketing and PR involvement here at the Globe, and the Record and everything else. So that helps me to just broaden my experiences and my knowledge about things too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. It has been a real treat to hear from real live current students about what this new space means to you and how you're using it and how it's changing the kind of work you do. And thank you so much for spending time with us and giving us a sense of how that's been. And I think we're going to turn this back over to Dwayne, and we'll keep getting more insight into this new center. Thank you all.
Thanks, Jody. And thank you as well, Gabriella, Mackenzie, and Zach. That was terrific. Next, we're going to welcome President Rebecca Stolzfus to share with us. And I have to say that soon after, well, no, this is what I really have to say. I'm in my, well, I finished 20 years, right? So I'm in my 21st year. And I think I had pretty much given up on the possibility that there would be a communication home. During the past 20 years and before that, there were signs that maybe the college might be moving to create a communication space, but each time we would see a little bit of green light, it would turn red, and I thought, you know, that's it. I'll cheer when I see this happen, maybe after I've left. And then Becky came in late 2017. And early on, she embraced this possibility of a home for the communication department, made it a part of her team's strategic plan. And she put in place a steering committee to help make this happen. And I want to give credit to the people on that steering committee, the members who met every other week for, seems like a year, included Dean Ann Benderly, Glenn Gilbert, who was Director of Facilities. He is now, they tell me, retired, but I see him a lot over in the wing. Glenn Gilbert, Deanna Risser, Vice President for Finance, Todd Yoder, Vice President for Advancement, Paul Householder, ITS Director in charge of ITS Media, and me. And we have to give special credit to Danielle Pagoria. Danielle is an administrative assistant here at the college. I didn't know her that well. I knew of her. I knew she worked with ASL, American Sign Language, and the Spanish programs. What I didn't know until we started all of this is that she had studied interior design as an undergrad, and she brought this tremendous set of professional capabilities to this project as she helped us with many decisions and just threw herself into this in a tremendous way. So we're grateful to you, Danielle. All right, Becky, thank you for joining us. Can't wait to hear your thoughts.
Thanks, Dwayne, and hello to everyone. What a fun part of the afternoon this is. You know, this, I'm going to just give you a little bit of the high-level story about sort of the 2-year efforts to bring this about. And it really began with faculty leadership and faculty imagination. So the 3 faculty that you are meeting this afternoon, Dwayne Stolzfus, Jason Samuel, and Kyle Hufford, are visionaries, and they were the ones who really saw the potential to turn this west wing of the Newcomer Center. And I tell you, when they raised this idea with me, I somehow didn't even really understand that this square footage existed as part of the Newcomer Center. Certainly the Mennonite historians of Goshen College knew it was there, but most of us didn't realize that this part of the Newcomer Center existed. But they did, and they had a vision for it. So a huge tribute to our communication department and the faculty who brought forward the vision for this. And then the student leadership and student excellence. So you don't need to spend long at Goshen College before hearing about what our students achieve in journalism, in radio, in TV and film, and in public relations. This is a real hub of student leadership and student activity on our campus. And then, so the combination of student achievement in this area and faculty vision really got me on the wagon and prioritizing this in our own fundraising efforts and seeing this as something that we could bring about. Of course, that takes committed donors. And the way that the donors came into this was really extraordinary and gratifying to me. I had a first conversation with one of there are 3 families that are really the signature donors to this project. And the first conversation I had was with a couple that I had never, this was my first meeting with them, and their son had been a leader in the radio station. And I had breakfast with them and I said, you know, I want to make you aware of this idea and this vision that we're wanting to move forward. They did ask, who's the department chair of communication? And I said, Dwayne Stoltzfus, and and they said, oh, we know of him. We think he would do an outstanding job. They trusted the faculty leadership here. And right away, the first meeting I had with them, they said, we want to make an important gift to this. The second meeting was with Joe Zaire in Fort Wayne, and Joe and Tammy Zaire are the second sort of signature gift family behind this project. And again, it was my first meeting with Joe, and had lunch with him. We talked and talked. And at the end of the conversation, he said, if there were one thing that I could help you with right now, what would that be? And I said, it would be our new communication facility. And he said, this was a year ago, July, so about 15 months ago. He said, if I gave you a major gift toward the building costs, the construction costs of that project, could you have it ready for students to be in the fall of 2020? And I kind of gulped and said, yes, I think if you would make that commitment, we could finish off the fundraising and make this happen. And that was one of the most happy lunches that I have had, because there was so much joy in Joe's face, and oh my goodness, I was thrilled. And then not long after, Todd Yoder, who's our vice president for advancement and had been part of these conversations as well, said, you know, Stuart Showalter will want to hear about this. And I said, absolutely, let him know. So Todd called up Stuart Showalter, just former professor of communications here at Goshen College, just to let him know, because this vision for a center like this has been longstanding. And Stuart, to Todd's joy and surprise, said, that's fantastic, and I think we want to be a part of this. Let's have a conversation. So the Showalters are the third family that we particularly want to honor today. What goes on in this center that you've heard about is really astonishing student achievement, and it begins with the passion of students, and through faculty mentorship and excellence in teaching, passion becomes talent. But it is really through the energy of our students that talent is turned into achievement. And these students work so hard and bring so much energy to this. They push themselves and they really take it to the limit over and over again. And I'm so proud of our students and so pleased to offer them this new space, and so grateful to the many donors giving large gifts and medium-sized gifts and smaller gifts that have brought this about. We are still continuing to raise funds for the endowment of this center. So if you want to join in the fun, we would welcome conversations with you about that. But this, again, allows our students to push their limits and find new limits. And that is something that I just will love to watch in the years to come. Jason Samuel asked me to choose a song to play. And over to you, Jason, to be our DJ of the moment.
Actually, I'm going to take over for Jason, but yes, coming up next live on 91.1 The Globe will be the Eagles with Take It to the Limit. So thank you.
Back. Okay, Dwayne, back to you.
All right. Thanks for that little snippet from the Eagles there. And next up, we are going to have a little sneak preview of a space in the Center for Communication Studies that is still under construction. So Kyle Hufford designed a set for the TV studio and turned those designs over to Eric Hooley, who's been doing the construction there in recent weeks. And we're getting close. You'll have a chance to see just how close as Kyle offers us a tour of the TV studio. Welcome, Kyle.
All right, thanks so much, Dwayne. Welcome to our new master control room for the television studio in here, and see a lot of fancy things in here, a lot of technology, lots of TV screens. This would be a great place to watch the NCAA basketball tournament. But this isn't just a control room for this building, and I wanted to point this out first before we go into the studio. This is actually built with the future in mind to be a master control room for the entire campus, where we could take cameras to the rec or Humboldt or Souder or the athletic fields in the future. And so there's a lot of flexibility and expandability that's built into this program. So this is going to be a great home for the new Globe TV that we have here. And so you have where the director sits up front there. You got the switcher, audio person is back here. And we can also use this to broadcast on the radio too. This is another place to use for live on-air broadcast for the radio. All right, so let's go ahead and go across the hallway to the TV studio. All right, welcome to our brand new TV studio. As you can see, it is a work in progress. It is almost done. We are a few weeks away from it being constructed. As I've been explaining, this is kind of building a house within a house. And so we had to have the first house done, and now we're building this one. Eric Cooley has done a great job of taking our vision and constructing a beautiful set that's going to last us for years. The design is based on a lot of the architecture that you see in Goshen, a lot of the industrial architecture. We have a window that looks a lot like the windows you might find in the old bag factory, and a lot of the glass block that you'll find downtown in Goshen too. A lot of the brick and limestone kind of symbolizes our courthouse, our beautiful courthouse in downtown. As we've joined the TV side with the radio side, and we communicate to our local region, we wanted a set that reflected the local region that we live in and the community that we serve. This will be the TV news kind of area. There'll be a great big monitor here. You'll have to picture it. And the anchors will stand in front of the monitor and do the news. In the corner here, we will have our sports corner set, and this is going to be a sports, this will be for our sports show, the sports corner, and where we focus on Goshen College athletics every week in this corner. And so you're going to be all kinds of Goshen College memorabilia, lots of purple over here. And if you want to come in real close, a little bit closer, this is a little bit of a 3D rendering of what that will look like. Get a little bit of an idea of the end result. We'll have a TV here, purple panels. We have a cool steel sign that we're going to use. So lots of flexibility and lots of options in this new studio that we have here. And yeah, the other great thing about this is we have a window between the TV studio and the radio studio, because we plan on using this space for live on-air things like having bands in the studio. If anybody's ever been in the old radio studio, you know you could not fit a band in there and play at the same time. So this is going to be great. We can use all of our tools, and bands are going to love coming in here and performing live on air on the radio, and we can we can live stream the video at the same time too, with the capability of this new space. This is one of the best technologically advanced studios and facilities in the Crossroads Leagues, and we are so fortunate and so blessed to have it, and I'm very proud to have our students working in a space like this. Thanks so much, and Dwayne, you can take it back.
All right, thank you, Kyle. Hey, I can't wait for the start of those concerts. That's going to be great. And now it's my pleasure to welcome two dear friends of Goshen College and of the Communication Department, joining us from their home in beautiful Harrisonburg, Virginia, Shirley and Stuart Showalter. And you know them, but let me just remind you that Shirley began at Goshen College teaching in the English department, and she went on to serve 8 years as president. She was in that office from 1996 to 2004. And Stuart spent 23 years in the communication department, including 12 years as department chair. He also served as the founding director of Goshen College's public relations office. We're so glad you can be with us. And I think, Stuart, I'll start with you, asking if you would take us back to the 1970s when you started at Goshen College. What was the communication department like then, and where was the communication department? I think spread out as we were up until just a few months ago. But
well, thank you, Dwayne, and first of all, thanks for inviting us to be a part of this very exciting celebration of the new Center for Communication Studies at Goshen College. What a thrill. A dream realized. Your question was, what was it like to join the faculty in 1976? It was exciting, but we as a communication faculty were scattered all over campus. My office was on the third floor of the administration building. Professor Danhouse was in Newcomer Center. We had an AV studio in the basement of Good Library. Bill Miller was the director of that program. And of course, WGCS had its own space, but it was isolated and alone in the Union building. So I had studied or heard about the concept of media convergence as a graduate student already in the 70s, but it was a theoretical, futuristic idea, something that's coming. I never dreamed I would see the day when so many different media would be coming together and operating out of the same space. You've done a fantastic job of integrating audio and visual and print. And of course, the key element tying these all together is the computer. You know, in the 60s and 70s, we had computers on campus, but they were counting machines. They were used more in mathematics and the sciences. I don't think we had the vision for a computer as a communication tool. And I think every one of the programs that you highlighted today depend heavily on the computer. So congratulations on pulling it all together. Beautiful design. Love the windows, bringing the outside in. The black squirrels. Hey, neat. We don't have those in Virginia. At least I'm not aware. So it's exciting to see what's happened. Thrilled to be a part of it, and exciting to hear the students speaking too. Amazed. They're doing exactly what we had envisioned. They go from the record to WGCS or to the TV production studio, and they do that easily and with imagination. So we're proud to be a part of this program.
Thanks, Stuart. Shirley, your time as president for me will always be associated in a significant way with WGCS. The department, when I started, well, that was 2000, 2001, 2002, we saw a station that had served so well over the years with this powerful voice, classical music, and some faithful listeners. But it seemed like as we were, in 2002, 2003, the station was struggling for listenership. And I have to say struggling in part because there was competition. There were other classical music stations in the area. So not only were we in a format that itself, was struggling across the country for listeners, but we were competing for those listeners here in Goshen. So there was that, and there were just efforts to get students engaged, to wake up early, to show up for shifts, all of that. So we put together a committee to study the future of radio at Goshen College. And we hired Jason, key factor in all of this. And what emerged from our committee conversations was a series of recommendations, the most radical or bold of which was to change the format that had been in place since 1958, always the home of classical music. But we were proposing to do something different, which we thought would open up some new possibilities. And we took that proposal to you, and we had no idea what you and your team would say in response. So if you would share with us a little bit, Shirley, what were you thinking? How did you process the decision, and how did people respond?
Well, I will have to begin by using the same phrase that President Stolzfus used when she described what's happening today. And that is that it begins with faculty, vision, imagination, leadership, owning up to a problem that was unfortunate. Nobody wanted the classical music station to begin to get smaller and smaller, and nobody wanted it to become a difficult hire or difficult expression for student participation. We wanted it to succeed, but it was not in an environment right in that particular time when it was able to succeed, especially with the fact that there were other options for people in the area. So we read the proposal, we discussed the possibilities of what would change if we actually changed the format. And it was the connection between the idea of people and program and potential that ultimately, I think, persuaded us as a team of leaders, the President's Council, to take a risk. But we were taking a risk because you had taken a risk. You took the risk in dreaming of what it could be. And we took a risk in saying, yes, this is worth a try. This is a kind of format. And my recollection is the name of the format has evolved over time, I think. My recollection is that we began by talking about world music, and that we knew that it would be music that would have more appeal to young people, but it would also have a special niche kind of relationship to an audience that didn't have that option in their location, or a new option in the location where we were. And as the internet began to be part of all programming for the future, we could imagine that these windows that are now in the building looking out into the campus and connecting the campus to the station are also windows that connect the campus to the world. And at the time we were talking about the 5 core values, which were relatively recent. We had the history of SST, which had taken our students out into the world. We had the value of global citizenship right there in the center of what we envisioned for the future of the college. So it was because we had leadership in the department, because we'll have to give a lot of credit here to Jason, just because of his taking advice from advisory groups, putting it together and trying to show us what it could be if we could have the imagination with him and with you and with all of the other people who worked on the project. I think, John, you already led a questionnaire and a group of a little focus group around this idea. And even though it wasn't with complete confidence, I think you would have to say, people said, yes, this is worth taking a risk. This is Goshen College for the future.
And I will say, while there were a number of people who expressed their disappointment with the decision, some of those people who spoke up in the immediate aftermath of the format change a year or 2 or 3 years later came to tell us that they appreciated what was made possible by shifting to, as you said, world music, Americana music, culturally progressive music. It's a broader format that's given us a kind of flexibility to add other kinds of content as well, including lots of sports broadcasting. Now, the two of you decided not just to support us in spirit or in word, but you also, as Becky said, made a very generous gift to the Center for Communication Studies. I wonder if you might just share a little about why you decided to do that.
Well, we are grateful for the many opportunities that were given to us by Goshen College to work in a variety of ways. And we feel blessed that we could make a modest contribution financially to this project. It's great to support faculty vision and student energy. Much has been given to us. It's our turn to give back to today's faculty and students. And so we're glad that we're able to do that.
We are joyful today to see so many other people benefiting from this vision, which carries the work of probably hundreds, if not thousands of people over the years. And so we are extremely happy to see another example of the joy of giving. One of our mentors in this idea was Maynard Souder, recently passed away. But he would always talk to his friends and explaining why he gave as being a source of joy to benefit so many other people, to recognize the work of other people, and to carry a vision forward into the future. So we are humbled to be part of this, and we are a very small part of the overall giving, but it is a large part in our hearts, and we wanted to share that with as many people as possible and to encourage others to give. The other thing that I would say is how happy we are with the current leadership of Goshen College, with President Stoltzfus carrying this idea and seeing how she described engaging and recruiting the major gifts for the project. That was very influential in our decision, knowing that it could help her team and all of the current faculty and students to find a future for those who are yet to come.
All right, thank you, Shirley, and thank you, Stuart. It's been great to have a chance to talk a bit today and have you join us. And thanks to all of you who are here for this virtual open house. And we look forward before long to being able to welcome you here in person and give you a different kind of tour of the Center for Communication Studies. So for now, I would say be well. Please stay in touch. Make sure you listen to the Globe, no matter where you live. You can listen to the Globe and watch Globe TV, and subscribe to the Record. If your subscription has lapsed, this is your reminder to take out a new subscription. The price for a one-year subscription it's just ridiculously low. I think it's $20 a year. What can you get for $20? Anyway, it's been wonderful to have you with us, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.